Okay lads, welcome to the video. So today I'm just going to bring you through a lower body mobility routine that I do before I do squats and deadlifts. So this little routine is just to warm up some specific areas that will be working in these two heavy exercises, and the areas are just like your hamstrings, hips, quads, thoracic spine, so your back, your lower back area. And if you want to try out this little routine, it might help you before doing any lower body workouts. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do before any lower body workout is do some sort of a general warm-up. So an awful lot of people will walk into the gym and just like, if you're doing lower body for instance, might just walk in the gym, put down their bag and just get in the squat rack and start squatting. So this is not what you want to do. You want to do some sort of a general warm-up for a lot of different reasons. So for instance, today I just did the bike, assault bike for 5 minutes, and it really just helps you prepare physically and mentally. So like, I just have my headphones on, tipping away on the bike for 5 minutes, and in that time I'm just thinking about what I have to do for that day. So by the time it actually comes around, you're more mentally prepared instead of just guessing what you have to do and you might feel a bit off. And then on the physical side of it, you're actually getting your heart rate up a little bit, getting blood flowing in all your joints, and you're not just cold with the muscles cold going into a heavy exercise like squats. Okay, and then after that I did just a few minutes of foam rolling. So again, this applies to lower body and upper body days, but specifically it can be more important for lower body days. And then I just focused on the areas that will be working in the workout. So today I'm doing back squats, so I actually warmed up my upper back because that's where the bar is going to be sitting. You want to be mobile in your upper back with the bar back. You don't want your shoulders restricted. And then I roll out my hamstrings, hips, and my lower back as well. So you want to be careful with the lower back. You don't want to put too much pressure on, but everywhere else you can apply a good bit of pressure and really work through any knots or any tightness that you're feeling for that day. So then from there I moved into some more specific things to warm up for whatever I'm going to be working that day. So for heavy back squats, thoracic spine is very important, so I started going into some direct thoracic spine warm up and mobility work. Okay, so the first exercise I did then for the thoracic spine, the lower back, is called a bird dog. As you can see here, you're raising up opposite hand, opposite leg, and you're thinking about contracting the muscles in your back and your glute when you're coming up to the top. And the second exercise I did is called cat dog exercise, so they have some funny names. This is where you're just basically like rounding up your back like a cat and then contracting it back the other way, arching it up. So again, this is just contracting the muscles in the back, warming them up, and then as you go up into that kind of cat position, then you're stretching it out, so you're just increasing the mobility in the area as you work through it. And then I went through some little shoulder mobility things where you just contract right up at the upper back, the shoulder blades, and then stretch them out again, and then contract the shoulder blades and stretch them out again. I moved on and did some leg swings either side. So with this, I'm just holding on to something stable, so in this case was the squat rack, and I'm just swinging out my leg just to feel a slight stretch on the hamstring, and then swinging it all the way back to feel a slight pull on the hip flexor, and for 10 to 15 reps on either side of this. And again, it's just moving through, just loosening it up, just opening up my hamstrings and hips just to feel looser when I get down into that bottom of the squat position. The last warm-up thing I do before squats, this is just for before I squat, so if I was doing deadlifts or anything like that, I wouldn't do this. And this is actually a hip mobility specific routine. So I got this off YouTube. If you look up Ido Portal hip mobility routine, that it just brings you through a few different exercises, and I I started doing this about 2 years ago, really helped my squat mobility, but now at this stage I kind of just picked a few exercises from it. I don't do the whole routine. So the first one, I'm just getting down in a deep squat position, blocking my left knee from moving with my left elbow, and then with my right hand I push out my right knee 10 times, so 10 reps either side, and just pushing out the knee so you feel a stretch in the hip. And then the second one, I'm just getting down in deep squat position again, locking my knees out with my elbows, so I have my hands together and pushing my knees out. So like this, blocking my knees from coming in, and I'm just raising my hips up and down just to stretch them out and get comfortable in that bottom of the squat position.
That's really there. That's
Okay, so that's everything that I go through for my lower body warm-up and mobility routine. So yeah, if any of you want to give it a go, or you have any questions about it, just give me a message on Facebook. I'll happily answer any questions that you have. And if you actually want to look up any of the exercises I mentioned on YouTube, there's tons of tutorials on how to specifically do them. So yeah, thanks a million for watching. Hope you could take something useful away, and see you in the next one.